You're listening to KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine.
The opinions and views expressed in this program do not reflect those of KUCI, its management, or the UC Board of Regents. To find out more about this talk show or other talk shows broadcasting on KUCI, log on to our website at kuci.org or check out the latest program guide.
This is Ashton Marcus, and I'm on location at International City Theater for their presentation of Daddy Longlegs.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and I'm here with
Mary Jo Dupre. I directed Daddy Longlegs, the musical, at International City Theater, and we had our opening night.
Great. So, question. What did you like most about this experience?
The actors. They were so sublime and talented, and it was just so easy to work with them, and they're the best people, and the material and the music is so beautiful, and it was just such a treat to sit in rehearsal and listen to them sing this beautiful material day in and day out.
For those who aren't familiar with the story, what's the story about?
Well, it's a love story primarily about a young orphan who is having her college education paid for, and she is writing a series of letters to her donor, and not knowing that he's actually a young man, and they fall in love through a series of letters. Yeah.
What I liked about it was the character development of basically, you know how socially it's so hard to date nowadays? So it's kind of like you have the internet where you do letters to one another, and it's so awkward. It's kind of like, who am I? Who are you? You know, what should I say? Should I say the truth or not? You know what I mean?
I think there's a difference between handwritten letters and texting, because I did think about that a lot myself. And I think there's a more thoughtfulness in it when you're writing handwritten letters. And also, the time of the play actually goes across 4 years, so there's a lot of patience. There's a lot of time for them to sort of think about each other and let certain events sink in, and there's not a real rush or push to make things happen very quickly. And I think that is another thing that's very different in that time period.
What I'm surprised about, again, this is quite a while ago. This was, again, before women can vote. But it's so bizarre how little has changed socially. It's like this man who's very wealthy, very powerful, can give her anything. Still, he's very awkward, very shy, very, do I deserve this? I mean, am I being the real me? I don't even know who the real me is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a lot of issues that are very complex. I mean, there's money issues, there's power issues, there's equality issues between the two of them, but there's also who they are as characters with their own flaws and their own insecurities and their own desires. So it's a really complex relationship that develops between them, and the way he kind of slips into, hiding his identity, like he doesn't really mean to, but then he starts to fall in love with her, and he sort of sets this own trap for himself and wants to get out, but he feels so bad about what he's doing, but he's so in love with her, and it's complicated. A lot of people have seen it and said that they were talking about it for hours afterwards, which is great.
I also love your choice of casting. What do you look for in your casting?
Honesty. Of course, in a musical, you want the voices to be there, and both of these actors have the most beautiful voices. You could just listen to them sing for hours and hours, but they're just very honest and vulnerable and specific actors, and it's just they made my job very, very easy.
I'm actually very familiar with the actors too, because I cover a lot of musical theater, and I've met them several times. You did a fantastic job of choosing them. I especially like Dino because he's kind of a little understated. He's not really like Hugh Jackman, like, bigger than life, tall. Just look at me. You can't help but fall in love with it. He does a lot of hard work. He does the things right, and that's part of the quality of the work he does.
Absolutely. And I was looking for an actor who could, not hide behind a bravado. I think it's really important for that character to be able to be vulnerable and to sort of struggle with his own identity, as you just mentioned, and his own feelings. And I needed an actor that was, really able to do that. And Dino just, he knows how to do it.
But once again, I really love the performance. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine. I'm here with
Ashley Reese-Jones. I am a Southern California resident from Santa Clarita. I went to school at UCLA for musical theater and still living in LA and doing theater all around our city.
Okay, and which character did you play?
I played Jerusha Abbott. Jerusha is so fiery and spunky and passionate. She comes from a very lonely childhood as an orphan, but ends up getting this opportunity to go to college and sees her entire future and her entire life just blossom. She's so so passionate, and it's something that I hope to take away from her when I'm done with this role. I love her so much.
I definitely agree with you because the story is basically centered around her. She is actually the lead character. It is her life that we're talking about.
Yeah, the character writes these letters to Daddy Longlegs, and those actually make up the entire text of our show. So a lot of what we're getting of the world and of the time is from Jerusha's perspective.
I'm surprised also how little things have changed because now that we have the internet, we meet people online, we don't see each other, we communicate, we don't know what we're going to say, how much of the truth we're going to tell, you know what I mean?
Absolutely, yes. But there is an intimacy that I know we've all remarked on a lot in the letter writing that we don't quite have in our short, small text messages or our Facebook messages. And that does create such an intimacy and such a commonality between these two people. And that is what allows Jervis to fall in love with her, because he gets to see so much of what she is. Also,
see, it's kind of like, first of all, it's a coming of age story because it's like she's growing up, but in a sense she's discovering herself too. He's discovering himself too, because it's almost like they don't even know who they are until they write to each other. By just writing it down, it almost like it makes it a fact. Here I'm writing about this. This is what is about me, and suddenly it becomes about me. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, yeah. I went into this story thinking that it isn't necessarily a love story, that she has to fall in love with him. She's complete until she falls in love with him. I do agree. I think that she falls in love with herself first, and that is such a beautiful thing to see play out on stage. And so amazing to have a female character whose journey is centered around that. And she's only made more whole and more enriched by the relationship that she has with him, but it starts with her.
Once again, I really loved your performance. I loved your singing. I loved the style of the music. It was very emotional. You know what I mean? For a romance, it didn't push you into tears. It actually pushed you more into sadness. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I think that that's due in part to the way that the score is created. It's so intimate. We only have a piano, a cello, and a guitar on stage with us. And so that creates already, we're talking about intimacy, such a small, powerful sound. And I just love some strings. I love them, and they're so beautifully written in this show. I think the score is stunning and so fitting for the story that we're telling.
Once again, I love the performance. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine. And I'm here with
Dino Nicandros from Houston, Texas, originally, a Pepperdine graduate. And I've been working professionally in LA for just about 5 years now. And this is my first time with International City Theater, but it's a great experience.
Great. And which character did you play?
I played Jervis Pendleton. Jervis is an interesting guy. He's very rich and has a big old inheritance. He's a trustee at an orphanage, and he looks after orphans, and he reads this essay that this girl sends him, and she kind of changes his life. So he plays some word games with her, and doesn't reveal his true identity, but gets to know her through letter writing, and they eventually fall for each other, and he has kind of a cathartic change of heart.
I really love the way you played the character because it reminds me a lot of the social areas nowadays. It's like you meet people through the internet, you write to them. Yeah, and it's kind of like, what should I say? Do I want to tell them the truth? No, maybe I should lie. Maybe, you know what I mean?
Well, and the charm of it is that, and you just said it, was that letter writing is such a lost art, and it is an art form, because I think it was our music director, Bill, who said you really have to think about what you're going to say when you write. You don't get to delete it like a text message. You really have to put thought and meaning into what you're saying, and it's really powerful that these two get to know each other without ever seeing each other. Knowingly seeing each other. They see each other, but they don't know that that's who they're communicating with. But yeah, it's a really interesting thing. The letters are at the heart of the show.
I also like the fact that, well, first of all, I like your brand. First of all, I've always been a fan of your singing. I've always been a fan of your acting. And I've always been a rooter for you because you're like a normal guy. It's not like you're Hugh Jackman where you're 6'6", you're tall, you're beautiful. You say, hey, everyone, you're supposed to like me because I'm beautiful. You know what I mean? You're one of us. You know what I mean?
God bless you. Thank you. That's all I can say. Thank you.
Once again, love your performance. I always love your stuff. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Daddy Longlegs will be playing at International City Theater from February 21st to March 11th. For more information, go to www.internationalcitytheater.org. This is Ashton Marcus, and I'm on location at Atwater Village Theater for the Open Fist Theater presentation of 1 Year Later.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine. I'm here with...
Hi, I am Amanda Wire. I'm the Associate Artistic Director of Open Fist, and I helped work with Martha and our curators to put the evening together. And I've been a member of the company for 15 years, and I directed 3 pieces, and I acted in 3 pieces.
Great, and which characters did you play?
I played the character in The Contributor, which started Act 2. I played the character in I Saw What You Said, which is about a Facebook fight. And then my final character was in the 1 in 5 devised piece, which speaks to the many times women get near misses on assault in our world. Happy-go-lucky comedy.
Great, and what's your take on your favorite character?
Well, I always love working on Ron West's work because we just have done a lot of Second City stuff together, and I think The Contributor and the idea of a musical version of Fire and Fury just makes me laugh. I would see it. I love that sort of satire and that news stuff. And I'm also a really big fan of I Saw What You Said because we all get into those weird social media, like back and forths, and I think it calls attention to the fact that if we'd actually talk to each other instead of just spew vitriol online, that feels important. And 1 in 5 is close to me simply because those are all stories that women in the cast brought to it. So it's one of those situations where it's maybe not a favorite because it sucks that it's happening, but I think it's important.
Yeah, I remember that piece too. I love that piece. Interesting enough, though, I noticed people didn't applaud at the end, and I understand why. It wasn't because it was bad. It was actually very shocking, and it was very awkward, but obviously it was meant to be that way.
I think so. And Lane, who, I don't know if you've spoken with her yet, but it was her concept, and then she reached out to all the women in the company and said, can you write a few lines about the last time you were afraid or made to feel uncomfortable or felt unsafe? And, she got all of these people writing in. And so, as far as something you'd applaud after, it's tough. I mean, it ends with a true bang. And in light of what happened a couple of days ago in Florida, and in light of just the Me Too and Time's Up stuff, I think we cheer because voices are being heard, but I think it's hard to make it look as though it's another performance because it's just a little too visceral for that.
I agree, but I love the piece.
Yeah.
I actually love the rest of the pieces too.
Yeah, well, I'm glad, and I'm so glad that you were here for it, and hopefully more people will come. If you don't like one piece, we got 13 others, so they're bound to like something, right?
Yeah, well, I love them all. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you. I'll see you soon, talk to you soon.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine. I'm here with
Amy Mormon. I've been a member of the theater company here at Open Fist for 3 years, and this pop-up is the second year it's happening, and it's a great group of people. I would really recommend all your listeners come out and see the show.
Great. And which character did you play tonight?
I play Tara in The Trouble with Cashews, which is the end of the first act. It's a comedic piece, kind of a metaphor for what's going on in our society right now. It's kind of fun. I think she's actually on the surface trying to make everything okay, but scratch that surface, and like a lot of us, she's really outraged and upset at what's going on in our world and wants to kind of shine a light on it. Maybe people will do something about it. So the story's told kind of in a comedic, against a comedic backdrop, and make you laugh and maybe make you think a little.
I thought a lot about that. I mean, your piece was kind of a little hard to understand. I think that in Boxes was kind of, bit obscure.
Boxes is very Beckett-esque. Makes me think Samuel Beckett would appreciate that piece. It's very obtuse, but a lot going on in it, and a lot of fun. A lot of fun for the actors, but hopefully a lot of fun for the audience too.
If my viewers decide to come by and see these pieces, what should they expect to see?
I think they would see a really great range of a lot of different perspectives, and a mix of comedy and drama and satire. There's some monologues. It's very timely. It's reflecting kind of what's happening right now in our world. So everything from pieces that are connected to the Me Too movement to lots of political satire on what's happening, and a lot of fun. We don't take ourselves too seriously either. So I think there's something for everyone.
I agree a lot with that because, again, even though I was told this was political, then I was thinking, politics. It would be like late night television, but it wasn't offensive like that. I mean, it wasn't biased or anything. I thought it was just very even-handed the way they handled it.
Yeah, I'm so glad. I'm so glad you came. Thanks for supporting the Open Fist.
All right, once again, I really liked the performance. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine. And I'm here with
Bruce Dickinson. I've been with the company for 13 years.
Okay, which character did you play?
I play a Confederate statue that's going to be cut to pieces. Oh, I lived in Georgia for a while, and I lived in Alabama for a while, so I know Southerners pretty well. That helped me a lot to develop the character. I'm from the North.
Yeah, but what's your thought on I believe they were tearing it down because they just don't want Southern monuments around,
Well, I think it goes in with all the tearing down of the Confederate statues that was happening a few months ago. I think that was where the play was spawned from.
I really like the way you played it. First of all, you quoted a lot of great people. A lot of great ideas were expressed also.
Yeah, the author, I think, just pulled different quotes from different speeches. The statue had heard everyone over 100 years. He'd heard all these speeches, so he was like pulling pieces out of each speech.
I really love the performance. I love that. For some reason, I just love that because it was so timely. It was so timeless, and you played it with a lot of dignity too for a Confederate soldier.
Well, they had a lot of that. They had that dignity. You know what I mean? It was just in spite of everything. It's kind of like what's going on now. Pride before the fall.
Yeah. I really love the performance. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you very much. You're welcome. Thank you for asking.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and I'm here with
Caroline Claydonis. I'm an actor, writer, and spoken word artist, and I'm a member of Open Fist Theater Company. And one of my pieces was selected to be in the show, so I submitted my spoken word poem, and I'm performing it in the political pop-up. It began as a slam poem, and I shot a video performance of it, and it really examines American entitlement and kind of how that can be the root issue of a lot of our hot button, controversial issues these days. So it explores that in a poetic way, and this is a whole new take on it, though, a whole new evolution of it, which is really exciting. It incorporates a movement piece. I have another actor on stage with me, so it's a whole new experience.
My viewers decide to come by and see these pieces. What should they expect to see?
They should expect to laugh, and also I think find some relief in kind of the issues that are explored on stage, to find camaraderie in that, community in that. I think that, it's called 1 year later. I think the past year has been a rough one for a lot of us, and I think that this show provides a sense of let's just get this out in the air and just honestly look at what that was like for us. So I think it'll give people that release.
I was told that it would be political, but actually it's really not that political. I feel that the late night talk shows are more political. I mean, more biased, you might say. They take a side. This one just presented things that were going on. Just said, this is what's happening, but then didn't tell you how to solve it or what to do.
Yeah, I mean, that's great. I mean, I know they definitely were looking for pieces that, exactly what you said, they highlighted those issues, but they weren't necessarily this is now, we're going to talk about politics and tell you how to think. Not at all. We really wanted to avoid being preachy, I would say, because that immediately kind of shuts people down.
I love the performances. I loved your piece also.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and I'm here with
Dylan Madalino. This is the second one of these shows that I participated in, and the group is so fun, and I happen to, agree with a lot of the subject matter and have my own views. So it's a very rewarding experience, and it's just a lot of fun doing theater with passion and a great group.
Great, and which characters did you play?
I played an elevator repairman in the scene Elevator Repair. I think that my character is a right-wing sort of person, very working class, and trying to come around to like open his mind and like maybe there's not just one way of doing things. And I'm trying to convince my friend of that, my brother-in-law in the scene.
I heard at the beginning that these were actually political plays and all. They weren't political.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. One thing that wasn't really part of this, because it's a sequel to I forget what the other one was called, but 1 year later is 1 year since the new administration came into office, and there are all these new issues that have cropped up, maybe springing from some of the unrest that's been going on for years, but the Me Too movement obviously is like the big one, and that's what my scene was focused on. And it's not just, you're right, there's not a political perspective and it's telling you to do it. I'm sure they appeal to different people for different reasons. It's for everybody. So yeah, but it is good to be involved in the issues. It forces you to learn about things if you don't already know, and it's also a funny scene, which I enjoy. It's fun to perform those.
Yeah, I agree. I was very entertained tonight. It was funny at points. It was actually brought deep meaning to situations we're going, like for example the Me Too issue, like for example I guess other things too, the politics and all that. But I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I don't think it would offend anyone one way or another. It just brings on maybe a political satire, like I guess the Tonight Show and late night and all that stuff. I look at it in that line, and actually, if anything, I think it's less political than those talk shows.
There's always somebody to be offended, though. There's always everybody's like a critic, so it's nice to hear you say that you enjoyed it. It's not like it's not just from one perspective for one perspective. It's not good to be in the echo chamber. I keep hearing that term a lot. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm glad it's a fun play. It's fun to be in. As I said, the group is fantastic. And we're not out to tell anybody how to do anything. It's all about opening your mind.
Okay, once again, I really enjoyed myself tonight. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine. Now I'm here with
Kenya Romero. I'm an actress based in LA. I'm a member of the Open Fist Theater Company. I'm actually a recent member, but I've been getting involved, and this is the first show that I've been involved with the theater company, and I love that it's a socially conscious show with a message.
Great, and which characters did you play?
So I was in a piece called Dreaming, and I played Julia, or in Spanish, Julia, and it's a story about a mother and a daughter being separated by potential deportation. Julia joins the military to save herself from that reality, from that potential deportation. She's very much like an activist. She would have wanted to be a lawyer if she had the opportunity to go to college like anybody else. She's practical. She's just really about justice. And she's afraid. She's afraid of what the future might hold, but she's hopeful. She's hopeful, and that's why she joins the military. She wants to make a difference in the world and also potentially save herself. So Dreaming is a very emotional piece. I really hope that people walk away from it just understanding that point of view. In this particular lineup, we're the only piece that talks about immigration and the Hispanic Latino point of view. So I really would just want people to learn about some of the realities that people, undocumented people, face in this country. So they should expect to just come with an open heart and an open mind and learn about maybe something that they don't really encounter otherwise. it's not really talked about as much as it should be.
Yeah, I really enjoyed your piece. I thought it was even-handed, and it wasn't, again, politically obvious one side or another. Just showed the facts and said this is terrible, and it was terrible. I mean, no, it was very well acted, though.
Thank you so much. I'm very, very blessed to have been born in this country, and I have so much empathy for my fellow Latino brothers and sisters that are going through this. I know quite a few people that are dreamers that were undocumented, and I had a friend in high school that was a genius. I mean, 4.0, and couldn't really realize his dreams of going to college. So I think about him when I do this piece, and I do it to honor all of the other people out there that are going through the same thing. It's really important to talk about.
Okay, I really enjoyed your performance. I enjoyed your piece also. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad you came. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and I'm here with
George Kaliotis. This is my second production with Open Fist. I'm an actor here in Los Angeles. I've been here for about 10 years. I'm originally from Steubenville, Ohio. During the day, I'm a math professor.
Okay, and which characters did you play?
Today I played Mar2, who is a doorman in a building in New York City, discussing with his brother-in-law, who also happens to be the elevator inspector, without giving it away, let's just say issues related to the hashtag #MeToo movement. Well, he's supposed to be sort of a schmuck, he's sort of offensive, he sort of doesn't get it. He's a little bit of an archetype, he's a little bit of a caricature of the male that just doesn't understand what all the fuss is about, doesn't understand that complimenting women is meant to be a compliment, and doesn't understand why compliments might be interpreted as sexualizing women, and why those things need to be thought about in this day and age.
If my viewers decide to come by and see these pieces, what should they expect to see?
It's a I don't want to say a hodgepodge, but it's a nice mix. It's a potpourri of different scenes and different styles and different moods, and they're all sort of supposed to be reflective of where the country is right now, politically and culturally, and they sort of reflect the upheaval that we're going through right now.
Yeah, originally, again, anytime I hear something's political, because I have a journalistic background, I basically have to make sure it's, fair, even on all sides and all. But in this particular case, I didn't think it was political as it was just a representation of problems that are going on. I mean, there were no answers to it. It's not like you should vote one way or another. It was just, these are going on, and that's it.
Right. But yeah, this is what we're dealing with right now, and that's exactly the point. Is nobody's saying that the answers are easy. Nobody's saying that the solutions are going to come quickly. But we need to start the conversation, and we need to think about these things. And now that things are coming to a head, we're at a moment now where we can talk about these things out in the open, and hopefully evolve towards a point where we do have solutions.
I really enjoyed the performances tonight. I thought they were enlightening. They weren't too political. It just showed problems that were going on right now. And I really enjoyed your performance also.
Well, thank you. Thanks a lot. Thanks for being here.
Thank you very much for being on the show.
Take care.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine. And I'm here with
Rebecca Phelps. Well, I'm a longtime member of the Open Fist Theater. I'm so thrilled to be back on stage here. We've been doing this political pop-up. This is our second annual one. And, I really feel like it's evolved this year. Last year, we were all feeling a little raw, and it was very serious. And I think this year we found some comedy. We found ways to laugh. I think the skits were fresh. And it's really been exciting to be a part of it.
Great. And which characters did you play?
I was in a skit called The Contributor, and I play a Republican, which is not typecasting for me. And then I was also part of a series of skits that involve women telling personal stories about being attacked by men or feeling uncomfortable because of the way men have treated them. Those are very personal stories for a lot of the women. I was just acting in it. I was reading someone else's monologue. But I think for a lot of women, it's very cathartic to share these personal stories. And I think hopefully for people in the audience, it's cathartic to know that they are not alone, that these are very common stories, and that a lot of women have been through similar things. I think that's more than anything what we're getting out of Me Too is this idea of, that isolated thing that happened to me once is actually quite common.
Yeah, I actually worked for a motion picture studio before, and when I was there, they told me that 9 out of every 10 shows on TV get canceled. They don't make money at all. And then I asked them, then why are you doing it if 9 out of 10 lose money? And then, you know what they told me? They do it to meet women. The men produce the shows just to meet beautiful women.
That's terrible. Is that true?
Yes, that's true. That's why they do it.
I thought they did it because the 10th one makes billions of dollars. Well, yeah, I guess, people do whatever they can to meet other people, I guess. But that seems like a big waste of money to me. You could just be nice to people and maybe they would talk to you and then you wouldn't have to produce a television show.
1 year later, we'll be playing at Atwater Village Theater from February 16th to March 3rd. For more information, go to www.openfist.org.